flexible exchange rate system. And we spoke a little about flexible exchange rate system, how it works, correct? Class?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. As I would suggest you keep responding because I don't know if you are there. Okay. So we started with flexible and then fixed, correct? Flexible May, we saw demand and supply factors determine the exchange rates, correct? Remember this? Okay. Right? Supposing this is 75. This point is 75. This point is 50. Remember this? Yesterday we discussed. Now, flexible exchange rate system may we have an auto-adjusting mechanism. How? Adjusting mechanism. Okay. What is that? See, supposing I tell you, okay, $1 is equal to rupees, say 75, we've taken 75, okay? Now, it means that to buy a dollar or to buy a dollar worth of commodity, I need 75 rupees, okay? So now, supposing from US, I import, okay? I import, say, USD 1,000 worth of goods and services. Okay. समझ में आ रहा है? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
So what will happen here? I am demanding their goods, number one. Secondly, I'm also demanding dollars indirectly because I need to pay to them. If I need to pay to them, even if I pay them in INR, 75,000, somewhere they will convert it to dollar. So demand for dollar will definitely be there, right? So $1,000 are demanded. Sensing this, it will happen $1 is equal, it will so happen that is equal to 76. Okay, class. So supposing this happens, and then the price of goods also, if it was say $1 is equal to one, sorry, just an assumption, 1 unit of the commodity. Okay. I was earlier paying 75,000 rupees. Now I need to pay 76,000 plus this will also go up. So I will end up paying a lot more. Okay, so what will happen? Price of the good becomes just an assumption, 1.1 because of the demand. Okay. $1.1 and डॉलर के डिमांड की वजह से डॉलर ऑल्सो बिकम्स $1 इज इक्वल टू ₹76. समझ में आ रहा है? So I will start importing lesser now. So import to, I am going to import say 900 units. Okay, just an assumption, so that I will be able to pay for the increased price. समझ में आ रहा है class? Are you able to understand? Class, are you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So now what will happen then in that case? Demand for the good will go down. Demand for dollars also goes down. Therefore, what will happen? The dollar comes back to 75 rupees. Now, USD back to $1 is equal to ₹75. So it's an auto adjusting mechanism here, right? Any doubts?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Now, let us see fixed exchange rate system. So when I say fixed exchange rate system, here USD 1 is equal to ₹50. Okay, this remains throughout. How much ever dollar you demand, how much ever rupee you demand, this is not going to go up or down. How much ever goods also you demand, this is not going to go up or down, right? And hence what will happen? The demand for goods or the demand for dollars. Can you ask the others also to join? Can I give 2 minutes? Any idea? Supposing I keep importing more and more, what will happen? What will happen when import is there more and more? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
It still remains the same. Now, what will happen is, to adjust the exchange rate, the Reserve Bank of India is going to, supposing I have imported, I'll have to pay dollars, correct? Reserve Bank of India will pay dollars out of its reserves and purchase rupee from the local circulation. समझ में आ रहा है? Domestic circulation में जितना पैसा रहता है ना, उसमें से purchase करेगी. Are you following class? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
Only Sakshi understands. Nobody else understands. Correct? Nobody else has understood. Only Sakshi has understood. Am I right? Prathamesh, Parul, Prachi.
No, ma'am, Sabiha.
ठीक है, तो एटलीस्ट जवाब दो. Even in chat box, if you give me, I'm fine. So now what happens here is, just understand a scenario wherein at home you are told per month you will get 100 rupees pocket money. Okay, with that pocket money you can buy whatever you want. You can buy your books, you can buy your, you can travel to college or wherever, and you can, treat your friends if you want, etc. तो आप क्या करोगे? वो 100 रुपीज को जमा करके रखोगे जब नहीं चाहिए. करेक्ट क्लास? जब खर्चा नहीं रहता है आप जमा करके रखोगे. बट when you have खर्चा you will spend out of that. तो आपको एक्स्ट्रा नहीं मिलने वाला है, इसलिए आप जमा करके रखो. पर अगर आपने खर्चा किया, उससे ज्यादा हुआ, सपोजिंग ये 100 रुपीज से आपने खर्चा किया और ज्यादा हुआ, तो आप पापा से बोलोगे मुझे 20 रुपया एक्स्ट्रा चाहिए. तो पापा बोलोगे नेक्स्ट मंथ आई विल गिव यू ओनली 80 रुपीज. समझ में आ रहा है क्लास? जो आपके लिए रखा है ना, उसमें से आपको कम करके आपको देंगे. समझ में आ रहा है क्लास?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you able to understand?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So that is how this works. Okay. So when I say this, it is going to be, you are going to actually, utilize what is left. So government also here sells out of the reserves. ये आपको 1000 say 50,000 rupees you have to sell yours and buy $1,000 for that import, to pay for that import. समझ में आ रहा है? ऐसे ही होता है. So that is how it goes through. Central banking authority has a control over this. But what is the disadvantage? Every time for the exchange rate, you cannot involve the central banking authority because this is not the only job it has. बराबर? समझ में आ रहा है? समझ में आ रहा है? How does
Yes,
this
ma'am.
actually happen? ये क्या होता है? आपके बैंक अकाउंट से डेबिट करके it goes to RBI. RBI makes the payment. समझ में आ रहा है? Any doubts of dollars from its reserves? Any doubts so far? आप बोलते हो पापा मेरा बिल इतना हुआ है, आप हिसाब में रख लो. तो पापा pays your bill and reduces it from the following month's expenditure. यहाँ पे reserves में से कम होता है. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec. It's going to be there. Right? Now, when you talk about currency being purchased and sold from the reserve, same way, if you export, आपको 1,000 रुपया extra आएगा, बराबर? Like if you earn and you give your father, this is my this thing. And father has a control over the finances. What he does is, he's going to say, next month you get 1,000 rupees extra. 100 rupees plus 1,000. So you have 1,100 rupees. Same way. अगर आपने export किया है, तो आपको क्या होता है यहाँ पे? That $1,000 या 50,000 rupees gets added to the reserves and it is circulated in the domestic economy. Are you following? Are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
Today, most of
Yes,
the
ma'am.
nations have a flexible exchange rate system. Now, we also said we will see what is happening with China. What was happening with China? China, what is the currency of China, official currency? Any idea? What is the official currency of China? What is the official currency of China? Yuan. Slang में they call it as Chinese renminbi. ठीक है? So yuan जो था, it was actually pegged to US dollar. जैसे we had something called as Bretton Woods system where the transactions was taking place. Yuan was pegged to USD. मतलब चाइनीज करेंसी को इंडिपेंडेंट फ्लोट नहीं था. समझ में आ रहा है क्लास? चाइनीज करेंसी
Yes, ma'am.
have an independent float. मतलब थ्रू डॉलर they had to transact. ठीक है? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
So, which means एक इक्वेशन बनता था, like see, this was done since 1994. Since 1994, right? Where Chinese currency was pegged to yuan and pegged to US dollar. So when we say Chinese currency is pegged to US dollar, US had China's exports were cheaper and then they were also very, very attractive in the global marketplace. So when currency is pegged, what happens is monetary policy जो है ना currency का, वो low रहता है. इसके वजह से ही चाइना was able to capture a lot of market share. समझ में आ रहा है आपको क्लास? Any doubt so far?
Yes.
Any doubt? So
No,
we
ma'am.
have
No.
something called as competitive exposure in the market. हमेशा चाइना क्यों आगे रहता था exports में? When you compare it with India, India had better quality goods. In spite of that, similar goods were exchanged, right? So now even the labor was cheap. So all these were advantageous for the Chinese economy. So it's an artificial way to keep your currency's value low. समझ में आ रहा है क्लास?
Yes, ma'am.
So now what happens is, अभी क्या होता है? How does Chinese when they peg their currency, right? they are going to operate like open market operations काफी होता था between US dollar and Chinese yuan to keep the price low. क्या करते थे ये लोग जो है ना चाइनीज करेंसी में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग होता था. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट वाज कैलकुलेटेड इन चाइनीज डॉलर्स. ठीक है. एंड दिस वाज कन्वर्टेड टू यूएस डॉलर इक्विवेलेंट. तो आप समझो कितना ये रहेगा, फर्क रहेगा, राइट. एंड देन सोल्ड इन द मार्केट. तो इतने सस्ते में आपको मिलता था. आर यू फॉलोइंग क्लास? सी आई मैन्युफैक्चर
Yes.
INR, convert it to US dollar equivalent, and then when I sell it, you can imagine how much of profit I will be making, how much of market share I will be gaining, right? Any doubts so far? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
So this is called as currency pegging. Pegging matlab establishing a parity or an equation and then linking it to some other currency. Chapter's name is foreign exchange. ठीक है. Chapter's name is foreign exchange. The last chapter. चाहे ये जो अभी हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं चाइनीज युआन, it is actually not in this thing textbook. Textbook में नहीं दिया है. Any doubts so far? That is what is fixed exchange rate, flexible exchange rate system. Now we will talk about MNCs. MNCs. Okay. What are MNCs? What are MNCs? Class?
Multinational company.
Multinational company or multinational corporations. Okay. So what do I mean by them? Can you name some MNCs you know? Can you name some MNCs? Class? Right, as per domestic demand, right? And then sold in the domestic market, packaged as per the domestic demand. Then slowly, once my business grows, when I'm able to satisfy the local demand, I have some bit of international demand also. I branch over to international business. This is the phase that a business goes through. ठीक है? So international business में क्या होता है? I'm going to satisfy the foreign demand. Here the cost of production may be a little high initially, okay? And then when I'm going to ship the same product, same tastes and preferences, maybe a little more of preservatives to last longer, and then packaging could be different, slightly higher pricing, right? समझ में आ रहा है? The same product that I made here is going to be shipped to foreign land. That is international business. Class, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Then I realized that the demand for the product is a lot more there. So I make it a multinational corporation wherein not only to satisfy that small crowd, now I try to satisfy the bigger crowd where people don't, people find out what could be, I find out what could be this, right? A little change in this. Supposing I ship my pickle to US, Indian consumers there may consume. But then they do, some of them don't want that authentic taste. Some of them want a tailor-made product. So I try to make that also. Barabar? So for an MNC, I'm going to conduct a survey because I'm going to spend a lot more. I'm going to have a registered office there. I'm going to be operating in that land only. पहले मैंने क्या किया, यहाँ से प्रोड्यूस करके यहाँ भेजा था. अभी मैं वो बेचती नहीं हूँ, वहीं पे ऑफिस रखती हूँ. और इवन अ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट फॉर दैट मैटर, आई एम गोइंग टू actually satisfy the local demands of all the consumers, not only my Indian consumers there, all the consumers. Let's take the example of Citibank. Citibank is a US-based bank. Barabar? Class? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Citibank is a US-based bank. So from there, they are not operating. They are coming here. Accounts are as per our people, right? जैसे accounts हमारे लोगों को चाहिए वैसे accounts वो लोग offer कर रहे हैं, right? And then यहाँ पे MNC में क्या होता है? I will have to employ the domestic population, right? and my boss is from the parent land. If it is an Indian pickle company, India may all the top managements are there. Top management officials are all basically Indians, right? And then, though it satisfies the domestic demand, it employs the local people or the domestic crowd. It is now going to, I have to employ the American to supply it, right? The trucks that I will be using, resources I will be using will be from the factory to my outlet. It is going to be a domestic truck. समझ में आ रहा है class, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
And then we also have, say for example, I'm going to start with when MNC का जो profits आता है ना, partly I'm going to give in that land and partly I'm going to take, major share is going to be taken by my people. समझ में आ रहा है? इंडिया को लेके जाती हूँ MNC में. Any doubts so far? Any
No,
doubts? Clear? So what are the advantages and disadvantages of MNC? Disadvantage is आपने local land में tough competition डाला है. The land where we call it as host country, host nation में आपने tough competition दिया है. समझ में आ रहा है? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
वहाँ के जो लोगों को कुछ में भी they preferred something else for pickle, but then you gave this and you made them accustomed to your product. So we are having a tough competition here. That is one thing. Secondly, industries get affected. Domestic industries get affected. Thirdly, countries like India, क्या होता है? They are exploited a lot. Resources काफी exploit कर लेते हैं. Correct? काफी resources exploit हो जाते हैं. Like MNCs will take, literally squeeze you. Even if you talk about your human resources. If you see earlier MNC में work किया या IT company, foreign वाला IT company में work किया, कितने drain हो जाते, बराबर? So that is one thing. Even if you talk about land, they are overutilized. Electricity, they are overutilized. Water, overutilized. Barabar, resources are overutilized for a small amount of payment that we are going to get. Any doubts so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay. That is about MNC. Disadvantage. What is the advantage? Advantage is competition जो देते हैं ना, it becomes as survival of the fittest. जो domestic producers है ना, उनको आप इतना कंपटीशन दे रहे हो कि उनको भी उतना स्टैंडर्ड में लाना पड़ता है. It abolishes monopoly. I will stop the meeting here and restart it. Please join. Okay. All of you should join.
Okay, ma'am.